Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Hello everybody and welcome to my August TBR. Yes, I know this one's going out just a tad bit early, but I'm traveling this week. It's been such a busy July. It's been wonderful though, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. And so I needed an easy video to pre-film, and my August TBR, it's going to be fun to go through some of the books that'll be on this TBR, but it's also a pretty easy video to film because I don't have to overthink it. I'm just going to read a few descriptions, talk about a few things coming up, and I think it will be pretty good. So yeah, it's good. So first off, we will go through books for book club, the books I'll be reading for Patreon. We'll get into the new releases, and then we'll have a bit of an update and chatty time about a bit of a challenge in a non-challenging way that I'd set up for myself in July, and kind of see how that's going, even though July's, about 2/3 of the way done, and I'll let you know how it's going. I'm hoping that when I have my July wrap up, I'll have even more to say on this. But since I'm doing my August TBR and I laid that challenge out for myself in, this is the August TBR. I laid that challenge out for myself in the July TBR, so I think this will be a good time. So first off, I will be having Rake Appreciation Society. Hopefully, all things go well in August. Again, this book club is with my friend Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life, and it is really a time for us to get together to talk about books, and we love taking you along with us. So I love when you guys can read the books with us. But just to be clear too, things have been pretty changeable in our lives, and so I'm not 100% sure when we'll be able to do this book club within the month of August. I'm pretty sure we'll be in August. I just think that there's been some scheduling changes, so I'm not 100% sure when we'll be able to have book club yet. But also, that's kind of just how things have been. That's why it's a seasonal book club for us. We do it once every 3 months. And for the month of August, which will be summer session, we will be reading My Highland Rogue by Karen Rainey, which is great. I've only read a few books by Karen, and she has so many. And this one was great. The audio was available for this one. So this is My Highland Rogue. And I like this one because the character's name is Jennifer Adair, and it's Scottish, and I love that. And then Crystal actually picked a reread for herself and a first-time read for me, but by an author that I do really enjoy, and that is Alexis Hall, A Lady for a Duke. And I had never read this one, or have not. I still haven't read this yet. And this is one that has been on my list since it came out, and I just never got around to it. I think it's because I've been intimidated by it, mostly for how much everyone has loved it. To be honest, that's a big part of why I've been intimidated by it, is whenever there's a book everyone loves, even when it's about subject matter that I also love, I just get nervous about it. I just get nervous about if I like it or not. But yeah, these are both of the books for Rake Appreciation Society. So yeah, if you want to put those on your August TBR, or if you've already read them, just keep an eye on my social media, either on my YouTube community page. Once we pick a date, I will announce it there, or on my Instagram. Keep an eye out in those places. All right, then for Patreon, very excited about this. Let me flip my page over. The trope / topic that got picked by my patrons was monster romance. I mean, that's what I picked out of the jar. All these topics at the beginning of the year, I let people suggest topics, and then I pick a minimum of 12. I pick 12 to 15 and put them in a jar. And then each month when it's time to make the prompt, I pick one out. And then people can suggest them. So this one was for monster romance. And the only stipulations I put on this one is that it not be a shifter, because I did paranormal / shifter romance back in February. We did that. And so basically the point was I didn't want this one to get all filled up with, vampires and werewolves. Not to say they can't be monsters. They absolutely can. But I just wanted this to be a true, so that the people who want me to read monster romance don't end up getting, a werewolf picked. for that, which is just, let's be honest, he can be a man when they have sex. So the point of monster romance is that they are in the monster form the whole time. So sex happens in their beastly form, all those things, right? Okay. So the one that got picked was Whispers of the Deep by Emma Hamm. And I'm very excited about this because I have never read a book by Emma Hamm. I believe I may have read a novella, but at the same time, then when I was reflecting on it, I think that, I have bought The Lovely Dark, which had Zoe Draven, Emma Hamm, and Juliet Cross in it, but I don't think I read Emma Hamm's short novella in it. I think I read the other two. So I'm going to need to fix that. But either way, it's exciting then because I also, one of my prompts in my reading journal is, new to me authors are something I'm trying to read. And so Emma Hamm being a new to me author, I love that. But yeah, I believe this one is like a siren or a merman. Is it a merman? Romance. So whatever it is, I'm intrigued. That's what got picked for that. Other books I will need to read for the first time or reread to annotate will be Enemy of My Enemy. I'm continuing Tal Bauer series for someone. I will be rereading Try Again, Baby, because I'll need to annotate that. I'll be reading Heavy by M.L. Burns. Very excited to read that because I really enjoyed Hollow, having read that at the very beginning of this month or the end of last month. I can't remember where I read it. I know it was I think it was at the very end of June or beginning of July. Either way, I read it a few weeks ago and I loved it. Though I do know that Heavy is definitely a lot darker. So those are ones I'll be reading or rereading and annotating. There also will be some for the pre-order that I'll have to reread. And Embers in the Snow is one of them by Anna Craven. Very excited for that. And also The Escort's Tale by MJ Edwards. Those are two that I want to reread and annotate for the pre-order that I did in July. So really looking forward to those. Okay, now let's get to new releases that I'm planning to read. Now, I always do a post on my Instagram that is anticipated releases, and that usually has more releases on it, just to share as many new releases that are coming out as possible than ones I'm actually going to read. So again, for August on this TBR, I tried to be brutally honest about which ones I'm actually going to attempt to read and not just put them all in my book journal as potential books, just because I don't like overwhelming myself with the TBR, right? We'll talk more about that at the little bit end of this video, because in July doing that, paring down the TBR has just really helped something in my head. I feel like I'm still at pace reading about the same as I normally read, but it's just this mental block is kind of lifted a little bit where I feel freer. Is that really true? I don't know, but it feels like it, and I like that, A lot of this stuff is mind games we play with ourselves, all right? And I'm not above doing what we need to do. It's the same thing about doing reading sprints or work sprints. Are you really having more time by doing it? Maybe not, but it feels like you're concentrating and getting more into it when you focus in on it for a short burst of time, right? So anyway, I just have the ones down, these are in two tiers here. The ones that I either already have an arc for, or I'm very positive I'll get one. And then I have another section of ones that I hope I get an arc for, or they're arcs that I'm kind of pulling forward, that I kind of missed out on getting to, but I still want to. And those I actually have physical copies of to show you, because they're ones that they were sent to me and I missed out on them in the rush of previous months, and I still want to read them. So let's go through these. This first one up here that comes out on August 4th, I got off of NetGalley, and it is called Vow of Eternal Night. And this one, which of course is the only one I didn't grab a pull-up for, or I didn't pull it up, not a pull-up for. I won't bore you guys with reading the blurbs of every single one of these, because that's not the point. But let me just hit you with the bullet points, as it were. Yeah, this one is supposed to be like a Dracula retelling. It's a slow burn, enemies to lovers, gothic romantasy about the lengths people will go for love and the many faces monsters can wear. And I grabbed this one, honestly, you know what? I'll be 100% honest. Sorry, I just said that twice. I will be completely transparent that Neck Alley did advertise this well to me. They had this little thing where they're like, if you want, this one is a download immediately one. And if you get it read by the date it releases, we'll give you an extra little badge on your profile, which means nothing. Will I actually get to it before then? I don't know. But I know it's only August, but I'm already feeling very fall-esque. And I think you're going to see that in some of these other picks that I have for myself. I'm already starting to feel fall vibes in some of these. And this one was speaking, wintry and fall vibes to me. Not wintry, fall, Halloween-y vibes to me. Okay, next up, I will absolutely very, very soon be diving into Devil by Sierra Simone. This comes out, well, honestly, they keep showing it on different days, but the one on here says, it just says August, but I keep getting different days listed in different places. But either way, this one is coming in August. This is the 4th book in the Priest series. This one is going to be about Ryan Bell, and she is really going hard with, he is one of the darkest brothers. He's very obsessive. This one also, literally the verse, because these are all, very biblically coded in a lot of ways. Sierra Simone, a lot of her books are, and I know that doesn't work for some people. Skip right along. It's okay. You don't have to read it. You don't have to put that on your soul if you feel like it's tainting it. That's just fine. But she has Genesis 3, 4, and 5 in here that says, "But the serpent said to the woman, you will not die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like the gods, knowing good and evil." And I know there was some drama with the pre-order campaign about this. This one also has some content warnings that definitely have to do with some mental health and things like that. So, definitely some crazy stuff in here. But I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to getting the ALC for this. And once I get the ALC, I'll be diving into it. Because Sierra Simone, I always need to be like mentally prepared for her books because they rock me, but I'm also so excited because I think she does such a great job with them. So this was sent to me from Bloom, but I am on Sierra Simone's ARC team now also, so I will be getting an ALC of this one as well. So very, very happy about that. I also pre-ordered a copy from... I also pre-ordered a copy of this from, or who did, Novel Grounds, there we go, that has the shirtless man cover, so very much looking forward to it. Okay, because now it's listed at number 3, and so my brain was messed up a little bit. Okay, so this one's now listed as number 3, Stolen Princess, because she repackaged Cursed King and Cursed Queen into one book, which honestly, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. She repackaged that into one giant book. This is now the complete duet. Okay. Good choice by her. But I was just confused because I'm like, I already read book 3. So, anyway, Stolen Princess will be book 3 now. And this one is going to be, let's see if we can tell. I'm trying to see. It says, okay, this one it sounds like is a Rapunzel retelling. It says, all my life I've dreamed of experiencing the outside world until he stumbled upon my tower. All right. Carrying a stolen necklace and a charming smile. Oh, okay, I don't want to spoil anything. But this is a series that you should read in order, like you really should. It's a dark contemporary royalty fairy tale retelling. It says it's a standalone HEA, but continues the underlying plot. So at least she's admitting it, right? Because the fact that it says there's a stolen necklace, I'm sure she'll fill in the background for you. But if you start from the beginning, it's really cool following what's happened. And so if this Stolen Princess is who I think it is, I'm just so pumped for this. So anyway, I will most likely be getting an ALC of this. I listened to all the ALCs by Julie. And I'm really looking forward to this one. So that one got moved up and it's coming in August. Okay. All right. Now we have one that I signed up for with Podium. So I don't know if and when I'll be getting it because I still don't fully know the vibes with Podium. I've only started doing ARCs with them these last couple months, and like I've had a couple of them, and one of them I was good and got it done on time, and one of them I've been a little bit slower getting to. So I'm still trying to get my vibe with them of like, do you have to be getting stuff turned in exactly on time for them to pick you, or how does it work? I don't know. But C.R. Jane has another book coming out, and this one's a mafia one, and the book is called Don't Say Mafia. And I signed up for the audio of it. And yeah, this one is coming on August 18th. And this one says, it is a morally gray anti-hero who's obsessed with his girl and will do anything to keep her. It's a standalone mafia romance. And it is the Veil Syndicate that runs Las Vegas. So that's kind of what I have. Has a great cover. It's got Chad on the front. I love Chad. He's so hot. I love his tattoos. Whenever you see it, I just love him. He's a great mafia cover. Don't we know it? We don't talk about it anymore, but, you know, he'll forever be the spy to me on the cover of his book. And he speaks to me as the cover of a mafia. Let's just say that. So I don't, like I said, that one's a maybe if I'm going to get it in time, if I'll get to it, but I'm willing to try it. And still, I have another C.R. Jane on this TBR, actually, we'll talk about it in a minute. So we'll see if I get to it. Okay, then on the 25th is the day in August that all the books come out. Actually, there's another one in August too. I just didn't write them out all down. The 18th, there's a bunch coming out, but I'm not reading them all. And then the 25th, there is a bunch, and they're all ones I really want to read. So there's 4 of these to talk about quickly here. There is Long Short Day by Kat Singleton. I will probably get an audio for that one. This one is Pembroke Hills number 4. I won't go into deets about that because I'm sure it'll be super popular, so we won't go into deets about it. Roped by Saffron A. Kent. Very intrigued by this one. It's Branded. Okay, I thought Branded was a bit wild, but Roped I'm sure will also be wild. And this one says it's God of Malice meets Yellowstone, which I'm pretty sure is what they said about Branded too. But this one is Peyton Turner, and it says, I'm Peyton Turner, I'm 19, and I have a stalker. No, I don't have proof, but I know he's watching me. I'm terrified. I should be terrified of his attention. Instead, I find myself drawn to it. All I know for certain is that under his black Stetson, he wears a skull mask. And that's kind of on the cover of Roped. You can like see it through the red sparks. And I'm like, intrigued. Okay, intrigued. So I do have the arc of this, the e-arc, but I'm also hoping the ALC pops up on NetGalley soon because I listened to the ALC for Branded and I really liked that. So I'm hoping the ALC for Roped will pop up as well and I can snag it there. Then there is 2 other arcs that I signed up for. And this is one of those where all the arcs ended up being for the same day. And I'm like, fuck my life. Why did I do this to myself? But these other 2 are for very small authors. And I really want to get to their books. So if it comes down to reading, you know, with the Kat Singleton and the Saffron A. Kent, again, I'm hoping I'll have ALCs of those. And I may prioritize reading the e-arcs of these 2 books. So I signed up for these with PR teams. And the first one here is one that I have been seeing advertised. And I think first actually talked about it in a different TBR. And it did get pushed. But that's okay. It happens. It's also this author's debut book. And the tagline for it is She's the Man Meets Hockey Romance. And it is Hands Off His Goalie by Lore Laney. And this is supposed to be her debut book. So I'm super excited about this. So it's a rivals to lovers sports romance with forced proximity, secret identity, found family, and an HEA. And so this one says, Taylor Quinn lands the best opportunity of her hockey career, an invitation to NHL training camp as the goalie for the Philly Flames. But just one problem, they think she's a guy. but she's not about to let that stop her. All she has to do is prove she belongs before anyone discovers the truth. Dominating on the ice is only half the battle. Dodging changing rooms, surviving close calls in shared hotel rooms. See, you're seeing how this is like she's the man, right? The locker room set, like if you've seen She's the Man, okay, if you're a millennial, you've seen She's the Man and you understand why this is perfect marketing to me. Like, I immediately signed up and I got so excited about it. So anyway, until Alec Hayes, the team captain, she's been at odds with him, and he discovers the truth. She quickly discovers pretending she's one of the guys is hard, but pretending she doesn't feel anything for the captain is even harder. Then Alec Hayes has one goal: lead the Flames to a Stanley Cup after last season ended with him watching from the sidelines. So I'm guessing maybe he was injured or something. Taylor may be the best goalie he's seen in years, but she's also a wild card. One that could risk everything he's built with the team he considers family. Somewhere between their on-ice rivalry and him taking down anyone who puts hands on his goalie, the lines begin to blur. Now Alec finds himself risking far more than the season for the one girl who could never be just a teammate. So this also leads into, if you look up videos about what happens if you touch the goalie, there are all these takedowns and, hockey fights of like, you don't fuck with the goalie. And this author also used that as like, well, what if the goalie was a girl and like someone on the team knew that it was a girl, but like nobody else did. So anyway, cool idea. So I signed up for that one and I have a pretty good feeling that I'll get it. I hope so. Very excited. Now this other one, I'll be honest, just signed up for it yesterday because when I was, putting together my TBR, I was like, hey, why don't I add another one? But also when I read what this one was about, I got very excited. I'm starting to hear the lawnmower go by, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly so we don't get lawnmowered out of here. This one is called The Widowed and the Wanted, and it's an MMF, so we have a polymenage historical Western romance. Faded outlaws in a dark Western romance, okay. And I signed up for this with Luna Literary Romance. This one is coming also on August 25th. And this one says it is Indian territory in 1870, and a widowed healer is drawn into a dangerous orbit of two morally gray outlaw protectors, an established MM couple. It's a standalone MMF Western romance. It's part of the Faded Outlaw series. So this is the second book in a series. I believe the first one is an MF couple. And then there's just a lot of listing what the tropes are, so there isn't a full blurb yet that's been shared. But I think there was, when I signed up for it, a full blurb, because I remember reading that they're supposed to kill her, and they end up turning on their whole group of outlaws and killing them to rescue her. And then part of the reason why I picked this too is they end up getting snowed in together in a cabin for the winter. So that was also why I was excited about it, because it was a snowed-in romance, the three of them together. And then it also, this is a book I haven't read yet. It reminded me of possibly like Ren Brown as well. Her books are one I really want to read, her Westerns as well, because she has MM and an MMF as well. So I really want to read hers. But anyway, so The Widow and the Wanted by Hallie Oak comes out, and I just had to. So truly, even if I don't get the ARC for this, which I hope that I do, because I don't know how many people will be signing up for a MMF historical romance, I want to read this one. I'm so intrigued, and I want it, so I signed up for that. All right, then there just is Keep Me Close by Jennifer S., which will be another book in the Chicago Railers, and that one is a fake dating, off-limits hockey romance. More fake dating in this series. Okay, this one is supposed to be Knox and who's this couple? Knox and I don't know who the heroine is because it's a first-person blurb, so I'm not sure. But Keep Me Close is coming August 27th, and I will hopefully get an ALC of that one, because I always do. Then, though this book comes out September 1st, we just got our ALC sign up, and we're going to be getting the ALCs on August 18th. So it is highly likely I'll be reading this book in August. So I just put it on the August TBR because I'm going to read in August. And it's for The Daddy's Girl by Sarah Kate, which will be a forbidden guardian romance, daddy kink, big age gap romance. So those are the ones that I know when the dates are. There are 2 others I want to mention that are ARCs I signed up for that I'm unsure if I'll be getting them or when they're coming. Another one I signed up for on Luna Lit was this one called Twisted Devotion by Tilly Ridge. And this one is an FFM, poly, everybody loves one another. And it's our daughter's friend. So it's a married couple that I think goes to a sex club to see a dominatrix together. And it ends up being their daughter's friend. And this one's going to be an ALC. And it doesn't have a release date yet for the audio, though the book is already out. So if you like what I just said, you can go and read this one if you want. But I signed up for the ALC, and I don't know when I'll be getting it, if it'll be in August or September. I don't know. But I wanted to mention it because I signed up for it. Then I also signed up for the ALC of Dance of Devils by Jagger Cole, because I still want to try one of his audiobooks, but I don't really want to buy one because I'm not sure if I'll love it or not. So I signed up for Dance of Devils, and that one comes out on August 18th. Don't know if I'll get it or not. So those are the ones that I had signed up for. Now, as I mentioned, I have a few ARCs that I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm carrying them over. Even though this one was very confusing because it says it comes out August 4th, but it also says July 28th. So I don't know when it's coming, but Bloom actually sent me a beautiful copy of it. This is absolutely gorgeous. So thank you so much. They sent me I've Got a Crush on You by Lauren Blakely. And this one is Darling Springs, where the gossip travels faster than a greyhound, which is so cute. This little pup, they sent me these little cards too. This is Captain, is the name of the pup down there. I love it. They sent me character cards. And there's one for the guy, one for the gal, and one for the pup. And so the guy is Chloe, and the guy is Sawyer, and the pup is Captain, which is great. It says, giving into their dirty dancing chemistry just once won't hurt. So I guess she needs a dance partner for the town fundraiser that her clients roped her into, and it turns out Mr. Serious Boss is up for dance lessons. So cute. So anyway, technically this one isn't out yet, but it is a July book, and I don't know if I'll get to it by then. And it also, this says August 4th, but the other book, but the release date says July 28th. So I don't know when it's coming, so I put it in this part of the video. Then, as I mentioned, I still have this C.R. Jane on my list, and I have the audio for it, and I have caught up on most of my ALCs. I thought I was so behind, and I realized that I've caught up on all of them except for 2, and one of them is a Mafia one, and one of them is this one, The Shadows of Sparta, and this is one that was sent by Podium, and I'm really in the mood for this one now, I think. So I think I want to try this one soon. It's really not that long for a fantasy. I think I'm just nervous because I know it's going to have a cliffhanger as well. But like I said, I want to stay up to date on the ones from Podium, so I want to get to this one. But yeah, I've talked about this one in multiple, so I won't tell what it's about again. But I know it's supposed to be a love triangle, but it will be an MF couple at the end. And it's ancient Greece. It's a retelling of like Helen of Troy. Where's the beefcake at the back? There's our beefcake at the back. So I have the audio, and this physical copy is really pretty too. I really love the roses on here. The box had come with rose petals in it and everything. So yeah, this one I still have on there. And then Kristen Proby so kindly had sent me the first book in the Silver Spring series. And I also had wanted to get to this one because it's Darby. I believe it's Darby, right? Yeah, it says on there. Darby. I forgot their last name. But I had just gotten through rereading the series that leads up to this one. So even though I know this is going to be pretty repetitive in like story points to the Blackwells of Montana, I also still want to continue on and get to read Darby's story. I know this one has to do with, trauma, healing, and everything. And so I'm putting this on there just as a maybe. I'm sure I'll grab the audiobook for this because she sent me such a beautiful kit with this one. Love the bookmark. I love all of it. So this one I'm putting in the maybe part of it. Now, the little discussion that I said I would have. So at the end of my TBR last month, I talked about how I wanted to read some things to get me out of my slump. And by slump, I didn't mean that I wasn't reading lots of books, because I definitely do. I still get through an average of a book a day. I still get through about, if you look, I get through 28 to 33 books a month is what I've been doing this year. But a lot of those, as you can see, are obligatory reads. And I don't feel compelled to read. I'm getting to read when I want to. And I talked about a few last month that I would get to do this with. Now, again, as I mentioned, it's only the 20th of July that I'm filming this right now. And I'm not sure when I'm putting it up. Probably putting it up, honestly, is this one going up on Thursday or when is it? I don't know. It's going up pretty early. So I still have some of the month left, and there are some other books I'm planning to read just for me yet still this month as well. But I have read some already, and I can tell that it just makes me excited to pick those books up when I'm getting to do it just for me. Now, it'd be silly to say that I'm able to do that all the time. I just can't. And it's not, as I said the last time too, I love what I do. Everything that is work to you, some aspects of it have to be work. Even when it is your home business, even when you get to love big parts of it, some parts of it still have to be work, right? And I absolutely love that my patrons pick books for me to read, because anyway, whatever. I don't have to explain. You guys know. No. So last month, I think I had like 4 or 5 books on there. And the one that I really read just for completely, it didn't fulfill any other moments, is I reread Hatchet, which was one of my literal childhood favorites. Not just a that isn't a romance favorite. That isn't a classic favorite. It is kind of a childhood classic at this point, but just for the joy of revisiting that book, it really was so enjoyable to do. I got through it in, just a couple hours. It's only like 200 pages. And more so even than just enjoying revisiting that story, which in all honesty was a little bit stressful, because it's clear that I love survival stories. I love person versus, I love person versus wild. I love dystopian. I love anything like that. And that love a lot comes from Gary Paulson and Jack London and A Man and an Animal Against the World. Before romance ever entered my mind at all, I love those type of stories. And it was quite stressful to read a 13-year-old in that situation. I won't lie. Very, very hard to read him alone with just a hatchet against the world. But it reminded me, that is one of my core memory books, because it's one of those where I was almost like guessing what's on each page before I flipped it, because I cannot tell you how many times I read that. And in fact, one of these books I'm about to show you, well, I guess it's the one over there. I read the book so many times that my teacher gave me the copy because I read it so many times, borrowing it from their library in their classroom, that they just gave it to me, which is really cool. So yeah, just really special memories that came with that. So I want to continue that a little bit in August. Again, still doing it in July. I still have a few that I want to get to that way. But I wanted to pick just like 3 more that are ones that I've kind of forgotten about or gotten pushed aside. And also some nostalgia reads as well, just for me. So in that vein, I want to continue the Brian saga. I'm going to sneeze. I want to continue the Brian saga, and I'm going to read Brian's Winter, which is the story about at the end of Hatchet, Brian actually gets rescued. Okay, spoiler alert, like he gets rescued and brought home. But there's a question posed with Brian's Winter that this is a AU book, which is so cool. Now that I'm 33 and I've read fan fiction and I understand what an AU is, because that's not how Gary Paulson lists it. But let me just read this quick little blurb here. It says, he learned how to survive. Brian Robeson. I always want to call him Robinson. Brian Robeson learned to survive alone in the Canadian wilderness, armed only with his hatchet. Finally, as millions of readers know, he was rescued. But what if Brian hadn't been rescued? What if he had been left to face his deadliest enemy, Winter? Gary Paulson raises the stakes for survival in this riveting and inspiring story as one boy confronts the ultimate test and the ultimate adventure. So, I think this one would be absolutely like wild sauce if he were to try and actually survive the winter. But yeah, this one that is Brian's Winter is the one that is like an AU of like, what if he didn't get rescued? But then there are 3 other books in the series, Brian's Return, The River, and The Hunt, that all are, okay, Hatchet happened. He does go home, but he chooses to come back because he's irrevocably changed by the events of what happened in Hatchet. Now he wants to be in the wilderness, but he gets to go there on his own terms. He wasn't forced there. But you start with Brian's Winter and see, like, could he have survived? And probably not. But there's this type of, like, self-insert of, like, could you have done it about it? So I want to continue. This is only 140 pages. Honestly, I want to read this immediately, but I want to savor rereading these books. So I'm going to try to hold off and wait until later. One thing I want to pose, I've not been able to find it, but if you know or have seen, if there's a bind up of all 5 of the Brian books, please point it my way or tell me where to find it. Because yes, you can find where you can buy a pack that has all 5. There have been different editions made of them, but I cannot find that there's like a bind up of all of them. And I would really like that. So let me know if you've ever seen one that has all 5 of his stories, because it couldn't end up being more than this thick, you know? And I would really love if there was one altogether, because not only would I like it for myself, but I would like to be able to gift it to my nieces as well. Okay, now 2 others. One is another one as well of those like arcs that have been gifted to me that I never got around to it. Well, this one is a finished copy, not an arc. And I really do want to get to this one because I just love this author so much. They're so kind to have sent me this book. And I just haven't been in the mood for this type of story lately. And I'm hoping I'll get inspired to do that because I just, yeah, like I said, I just haven't been in the mood. And that is Role Play by Ali Marr. And yeah, this one is a D&D mixed with like BDSM, and it's supposed to be a friends to lovers where they start using the play of their characters gets sexual and then eventually gets sexual between the 2 of them. And the idea of it just sounds so fun. And I love that the author herself plays D&D, and like there's like artwork included in here too that's so beautiful. So I think this one could be really fun, and it's not that long. So I want to get to that one. So we'll see if I feel inspired for that. Also, I have had this one for so long. I have a signed copy because I met the author at a book signing. And it is a surprise pregnancy between friends. But when he's like not ready to be with you yet, how just awkward that would be. And this is When Morning Comes by A.M. Wilson. So very interesting premise in there. Nathan is a widower and he's avoided commitments, and then they have a one and done like hookup, but then she ends up pregnant after they had like a drunk party night together. And now he has to convince her that he isn't just staying with her because of obligations, because they were friends, but that he does have feelings for her, even though all she's ever heard him do is still kind of like mourn his dead wife. So seems very dark. Now, I've had my friends who've read it who say it isn't as dark as that sounds, which I fully can believe, right? I read books all the time that are not as dark as they sound. So those are going to be my books that are the just possible for fun, see where I go. But at the same time, keeping everything super open, because that's just what I've been enjoying in July right now. And yeah, it's been really good. So anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap this up, and yeah, let me know for you, what have you been reading? What have you been enjoying? Let me know which of these books you're most excited for. Let me know if there's any August releases you're most excited for. Again, if you follow me on my Instagram, I have more new releases listed. These are just the ones I'm prioritizing, the ones that I want to actually put in my TBR journal, because again, the whole point is to not overwhelm myself lately. We're taking it easy right now, so that I just feel like I get to enjoy everything. That's what we're doing. So, alrighty, let me know how's it going for you, and I'll talk to you later.